How's it going, people? On MyTyme to WWE Supercard, and we have an update. First of all, team event is over. It was ring domination, and what a complete shambles that was. For over 6.5 hours, I was unable to log into the game. Unfortunately, I did not produce many points down here. 5 shards. I was at work to begin with when the event started at 8 PM on the Monday. And I played a few games while at work, got a few shards, and yes, we got the card still, but once I finished work and got home and could do it before going to sleep, 6.5 hours or so, even more, in fact I was up, I could not log into the game. That error code 4-1404, whatever it was just a constantly coming up no matter what device I used. So I gave up in the end. It's good to see that these guys were able to persevere it and get the Kofi Kingston card, so a big shout out to all of those of you who helped me in the event. It actually wasn't too hard. It was a different kind of form of ring domination, and Cat Dad have come out and apologised, saying that for everyone who did take part in the event, you will get 300 credits. So that's their attempt to make up for it, but it's just another example of how they've pulled an event out and it's been problematic. You know, same kind of thing was happening in PCC or Team PCC. That was taken off the roster until they could iron out the kinks. Yeah, it's not great when they're trying to bring in these new modes. It's nice that they're trying to do stuff, but people don't want to have a mode released and then not be able to play it, because it kind of leaves a sour taste. But on a slightly more positive note, we do have our Flair Pro'd up now, so he's not fully maxed out. But what I did do was I put 5 into his power, 1 into his toughness, none into speed, and 2 into charisma, with the main focus in power, because I lack really a good power card at the moment. I don't have Reigns and I don't have the Undertaker, so I did put quite a bit of power in my Rock, but I focused mainly on his charisma. And my Jack Swagger was a mixture, because I at the time made him speed, so his speed was going to be over 3,000, and as a result his power and toughness took a slight hit. So Flair decided to go to power. I've got charisma in terms of The Rock, I've got charisma in terms of Jericho, so I decided we'll see what we do with these other and it's 19 at the bottom. See what we do with these other tokens afterwards. I'm probably going to put 1 again, possibly 2 onto toughness, boost up the charisma and the power of the rest. Maybe 3-1-1 or 2-2-1, 2-1-2, something like that. But we will worry about leveling him up fully and get these games played once from in my next King of the Ring. 'Cause last King of the Ring, I didn't even bother. I tried to drop my deck. In fact, I can even show you now. King of the Ring, tried to drop my deck to give me a slightly better chance. 200 levels to 5 of pros, 2 event cards and a couple of legendary. Maybe what I should have done is got rid of those event cards. That's the key. Leaving those event cards in still put me in an extremely hard King of the Ring, except for I was now in the King of the Ring that I had absolutely no chance of winning. So I gave up, and in the process of giving up and just playing the game, something happened. So something happened, and I have now been working towards it. And if I just click on Exhibition, just to go back slightly, if we go to Ladder Rewards here, we scroll down, we come to 15,000 games, you get a random superstar of your current rarity. Now, I've paid 13,900. I didn't want to play that many games. I want to stop, because I'd ideally like to try and just focus on the game for the near future, doing little bits and bobs to keep up to date, and see if I can remain below this threshold for when the Wrestlemania tier comes out. Whatever happens, I'm definitely going to stay below the 17.5 mark, because when Wrestlemania tier comes out, yes, it might not be for another month or so, you know, with Wrestlemania in the beginning of April, probably not going to be released until either just before or around then, but that's still only 4 or 5 weeks away, if it's anything to go by last year as well. So theory is, let's keep this for sure and try and keep this, if we can, clear. So as a result, I've tried to play fewer games whilst not in events, but something happened. Something happened which changed that, and you might be able to guess what it is. You might be able to guess what it is. You have seen it. I pulled a Sasha Banks from the board. Yes, I couldn't believe it. So I've been playing exhibition games to train up both my Flairs and my Sashas. So now we're just going to go through and use the tokens before proing her. Then we can go into the King of the Ring. Then we have a chance of potentially winning the solo deal of the matches, depending who we're up against, obviously, depending on the stats, etc. But she procs in toughness and charisma. If we look through at what the boosts are, she gets 17 everywhere. So she would be a good card to kind of balance out, except for the fact that her speed is lacking quite a bit. So what I'm going to do is I am going to give her 2 toughness, a power and a charisma with this one, and with Sasha number 2 I'm going to call her a Spice. She could be the new Scary Spice. Forget Alicia Fox, we've proed her up, plus she looks a bit more with the colour hair and I don't know. Yeah, she can be Scary Spice. And with this one I'm going to I'm tempted to do it like this, but something's telling me I might just balance, because I don't really have any other divas at the moment. But I'm going to try and make it so she can at least give a good account for herself in 3 stats, and yeah, that'll be what we do. So let's get ready to pro her. Let's just double check that they are both done for, yep, and all the things for, and all the tokens. Okay, now we can combine her. First Survivor Pro Diva, Sasha Banks, boom, result. So next tactic is come out of here, King of the Ring, swap these around, swap out for Sasha Banks and swap out for Natalia, who over the course of the King of the Ring I will put her tokens on and I will get her trained up fully. So I'm going to leave her just for the moment, and I'm going to leave Sasha here because the idea is to bring in my, where are you, Flair? To bring in my cards and swap Kalisto, swap for Undertaker. Oops, not what we're doing. Swap for Bret Hart. No. Who do I want? Wait up. What's Kalisto's toughness and speed? So I should go power and charisma, shouldn't I? Yep. Okay, so swap for Bret Hart. Okay. So tag. You come out for Rusev. Really Flair there for the moment. And I would bring in Randy Savage, but I think this is the best team I can go with at the moment. I can change obviously Flair and Swagger around if I need to. Rusev's kind of locked in there, and I can obviously change the tags if needed. I think this is the best one I can go with, so I'm going to stick with that. I'm then going to come to, I'm going to keep this, but I'm going to show you that I did actually pull another, I think I pulled a Bobby Heenan, so 21 speed to the deck support, but I'm going to keep the double stat one instead for this King of the Ring and begin King of the Ring. So now what I've gone and done is I've got some stronger cards there which can be leveled up, so I'm going to wait for those and wait till it started, then level them up. So maybe I'll get a few slightly weaker opponents potentially, and then obviously I'll be able to boost those cards once it comes to the end. Now, just to finish off the video, big announcement: Shayna Mac back in the WWE, Wrestlemania versus The Undertaker. And just before I sign off, I'm going to give you my thoughts on what's going to happen in WWE. Okay, so by WWE, I meant WWE Supercard. So just while I'm going over this little theory, I'm going to go through, show you all my Survivor cards as we currently stand. Now, I wasn't in the game long enough in Season 1 to know how Wrestlemania tier worked. Now, if it comes out before Wrestlemania starts, then what I'm about to say potentially has no merit. If it doesn't come out till after WrestleMania itself, then here's my thoughts. Now, for the main kind of card or the event for that weekend, they can't put The Undertaker, Shane O'Mac. Shane O'Mac has been announced. He's back in the WWE. He's got a match with The Undertaker at WrestleMania. You know, big news bits of wow, Shane O'Mac's back. Great to see him back. Love to see him as a card. But I think if you're going to get him as a card, let's get him in now. Let's get him in either this week for the next event. That'd be great. I mean, I think a lot of people will go for him. They might want to keep him for a PCC card, but how? You can't book him as a PCC card in Survivor tier because there's already a Undertaker event card. That goes with the same fault for Roman Reigns and Triple H. If it gets to WrestleMania and so it's still Survivor tier, you cannot have those as the cards for that weekend because there's a Roman Reigns event card. There's a Kalisto card, so if he has a ladders match or anything like that, you can't use him. There's a Jericho card, so if there's some form of AJ Styles and him angle, unless they tag up or I don't know what they're going to do, then you can't use him. So they're kind of stuck with maybe Brock Lesnar and Dean Ambrose or a Diva matchup if it gets to WrestleMania and it's still Survivor tier. Now if it isn't, then obviously what I've just said kind of doesn't matter because they can use anyone. If it is, then it looks like it's going to be maybe Kevin Owens, but probably Ambrose Lesnar. And if it's not that, then it could be the Diva. So you could get your Survivor Diva PCC that weekend, which would obviously probably engage a lot of the community, especially those in the top echelons. But if it becomes WrestleMania, and some of you guys might be able to tell me if WrestleMania tiers last season was released before or after WrestleMania itself as an event, then anything goes. And in that case, I would like to see Shane O'Mac Undertaker as opposed to the Triple H Roman Reigns. And I think they might even give it to the Undertaker because of his popularity and Shane O'Mac's. But if they don't, yeah, by all means, please bring him in for the next event. Or if you want to keep him for PCC, we've got a few weeks going. I'd love to see him as an event card. I think it'll be amazing. You know, they bought some classics back. You got some. They bought throwback cards and that. They're trying to bring through the NXT people. Bring Shane O'Mac, and I think it'd be really popular amongst the WWE Supercard community. And I think a lot of players would actually play to try and get his card, even if you only bought him in as a Survivor card, even if you didn't make it as an event card. There's no reason why they can't add an extra Survivor too. They've done it with Bayley, for example, and they've done it to Finn Balor and that, Balor to bring him in. He come in as from out of nowhere as a legendary event card before Survivor tier was released. So why not do it with Shane O'Mac? I'd love to see it. I don't know about you guys. Let me know what you think, and also what you think will happen with WrestleMania. Is it going to be a case of that the new tier comes out, and what do you think the cards are going to be, or do you think they're going to wait and they're going to go with, as I said, maybe a Lesnar and an Ambrose or a Diva? I don't know. I'm just throwing out my thoughts, but I'd really like to know what you guys think, because I kind of want to work out what stage I want to be at when WrestleMania tier comes. As I said, if people who have had experience in it from last season can inform me, I'll know whether I'm going to try and exceed that 15,000 game mark and just keep myself under 1750 for the WrestleMania tier, or whether I will just hold back completely now for the next couple of weeks, not really go for the PCC event card, just go for the card which is from the Road to Glory and the Ring Domination, and basically not play apart from that now that I have one Survivor Diva. And then obviously that will give me a chance to get a freebie pool in WrestleMania tier, which could potentially be a Diva, as well as keeping me in line for the 17,500 Diva reward, and potentially another male WrestleMania reward for the 15,000 mark. So anyway, that's been my quick thoughts. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all when we know who the card is going to be for the next event. Good luck and see you all soon.